I came to the realization that this world is nothing like we thought it was, which is a bit of an understatement, you might say. And I also came to realize that the world is not controlled and run by the people and the institutions that we're told it is. The truth is very, very different. On behind the scenes, beneath the surface gloss that the general public doesn't get to see. Dark occult symbolism that goes into music videos and record sleeves and that sort of thing. The transhumanist agenda, artificial intelligence, and how that's connected to the sort of music that is getting put out there now, and what's being done with sound frequencies and sound production, that sort of thing. There are various organizations and groups working through secret society networks that over a vast period of time have come to control and manipulate pretty much every aspect of daily human life. And that absolutely includes the entertainment industry and my special area of interest, which is the music industry. And one of the earliest things that alerted me to the fact that there was more to know about what's going on in the music game was the proliferation of symbols and imagery that was getting inserted into the work of various A-list artists. One of the best examples would be this pyramid symbol, which we see time and time again cropping up in music videos, record sleeves, promo shots, that sort of thing. This is dating back to 1985, 30 years ago. It's Madonna in the movie Desperately Seeking Susan, and on the back of her jacket we have the pyramid symbol with a capstone and an illuminated capstone with an all-seeing eye in the center of it. That image is a bit dark, but that's what it is. And isn't it interesting that we saw that symbol crop up in Johann's talk as representing the element of air? It has many other connotations. You're doubtless aware of the fact that the pyramid appears on the back of the US dollar bill with the removed capstone and the all-seeing eye. And you might ask yourself, what connection could an esoteric symbol like that have to the entertainment industry, to a pop artist like Madonna? Which is a very good question to ask. And we're seeing these symbols all over the place, bringing it more up to date. Here's this kind of triangular pyramid symbol being evoked by Jay-Z. There's lots to say about Jay-Z. There's a lot about him in the book, but we'll be here till about 8 o'clock if I start to go into it now. But suffice to say, this is a symbol that you see Jay-Z flashing up all the time, or he used to. And he refers to it as the rock sign. All these symbols come with an innocent-sounding cover story to explain what they are. And Jay-Z will tell you that this is the rock sign, and it's representative of his record label, which, when it first came out, was called Rockefeller Records. There's a name to conjure with. These days, it's morphed into Rock Nation, but the idea behind this symbol is that it represents the bling culture of hip-hop. It's supposed to be a diamond shape, and he's celebrating the success of his record label and all the rest of it. Jay-Z, in an interview in 2009, claimed to have invented this symbol. But when you look into it, you realize that's not the case. This symbol goes way back into antiquity. It's been used by many different civilizations in many parts of the world. You've seen it used by the Church of Satan, for instance. It's been used by Aleister Crowley in many of his dark occult secret societies, the OTO and the AA and all the rest of it. Very far from a modern symbol. Here he is with his best mate Kanye West doing the same thing. You come to realize there's more than meets the eye here. And again, the question arises, why should these esoteric symbols have any connection to the modern music industry? Talking of the Church of Satan, here's the founding priest of that organization, Anton Sandor LaVey, doing that very same sign. So straight away we see it goes back a little bit further than 2009. This would have been sometime in the 1960s. Another symbol that seems to be a favorite of these A-list artists is this one that you make with your thumb and fingers. And the cover story for it is that it means okay, everything's cool, everything's fine. And you see politicians doing this, you see all manner of celebrities doing it. But of course, there's always a different explanation as to what these symbols mean. And when you really get into it and you study the occult nature of it, you realize that this is a depiction of a 6. And when you've got the 3 fingers raised at the top there, it's kind of denoting that it's 6 to the power of 3 or 3 sixes. So it's a depiction of 666, the number of the beast in the book of Revelation, and so many other dark occult connotations as well. 666 crops up a lot in this story. Why are these artists doing it? And they're not the only ones. As I mentioned, politicians seem to be rather fond of it as well. There's all your favourite ones up there, Rogues Gallery. It's like a nightmare episode of Celebrity Squares, isn't it? Your worst nightmare. And there it is, 666. And that particular number crops up somewhere else in the modern music story as well. DrDre, the hip-hop artist and producer, formerly of NWA, who's enjoyed a highly successful solo career since, and is consistently named as one of the richest individuals in hip-hop. It's worth millions, if not billions now, and much of it has come as a result of his headphone range called Beats by Dre. And it's just a coincidence that Beats is an anagram of beast. We won't go there just now. But one of the symbols for Beats by Dre, the logo, is this symbol here, which we're told is supposed to be a B for Beats. But it looks more like a 6 to me. And in one of the ads for Beats by Dre, you get the 3 sixes being flashed up there. And when you look into some of the other stuff that DrDre has been involved with over the years and what he represents, it's no surprise to find him associated with this number. It goes way back. Here's a young Michael Jackson flashing up that same symbol that we saw Beyonce doing. And here's the first, but not the last, showing of the Beatles in this particular talk. And we've got 2 symbols for the price of 1 here. We've got Paul McCartney, or is it? We're going there too, don't worry. We will get there. I should say Paul McCartney doing the 6 thing, and John Lennon here flashing up the horned hand sign. He does it that way round in one picture, and he does it the other way around. See, I can't do it. I can't do these things. That's it. He does it that way round once, and then for good measure, you get him in another shot doing it that way round. And there's a cover story for this symbol as well. This one is supposed to mean I love you. It's supposed to be spelling out I love you in deaf sign language when you've got the thumb extended like this. I should learn to do these things. I just can't get it right. But in actual fact, again, when you do the research, you come to realize that these secret societies that control the entertainment industry, these dark occult networks, have this entity known as Baphomet, and often known by other names as well, this horned kind of demonic entity which they seem to revere for some reason. And they seem to want to kind of worship it. And they get their artists to throw up these symbols in a kind of homage to this entity that means so much to them. And so that's why you see so many artists throwing up the horned hand sign. There's a particularly sinister depiction of it here from Eminem. And again, politicians get in on the act. Is it just a coincidence that all this lot happen to be throwing up the same symbol? And are Hillary Clinton, Bush, Cheney and Obama the sort of people that you'd really expect to be telling everyone, I love you? Probably not. They might be saying I love you, but it'll be to something other than humans.